Good morning, everybody. Silas back again today. I'm out here on an old farm, kind of close to town, but kind of secluded at the same time. This place is really cool. There was an auction here not long ago, about a week ago, and I bought a ton of stuff here, and we're cleaning that up right now. All of that is going to be separate videos on my main channel, so be looking for that. But I thought, there's a lot of really neat stuff out here, and I figured, I'll go ahead and film all this, and I'll put it on my second channel. There's some massive grain buildings. We'll check those out here in a little bit. There's a little bit of stuff left out here. I didn't buy any of this. We're pretty well done cleaning up our stuff. This was a huge auction. There was tons of stuff out here. I bought a bunch of old cars, old trucks, old farm equipment, you name it. Now it is extremely windy out here. I mean, it's Kansas, so it's always windy. I'll do the best I can with the audio situation. There's some really cool buildings over there. There's an old house that's falling apart over there. We'll go check all that out as well here in just a minute. But first things first, there's an old building out here in the field. I want to go check it out. It is so cold right now, bitter cold. My fingers are absolutely frozen. I can barely feel them in my face. That wind is just barreling out of the north today. But it's not going to get any better. It's supposed to be down below zero next week, so what do? I wonder if any mushrooms grow in here. I always see places like this with these little tree rows, and I always wonder about mushrooms. Not sure what this was. What do we got in here? Looks like a bunch of trash. Here's kind of a neat old door here. And that tank over there, looks like a couple of them. They have the rivets around them. Those are pretty high dollar tanks. That's probably a $150 tank right there. That other one's probably a $50 tank. But they didn't sell any of this stuff in here, so this isn't mine, so I can't touch anything. I'm just checking it out to see if there's anything really cool. If there's something really cool, I'll try to find a way to buy it. But I don't see anything worth that much effort. Bunch of old windows. Looks like this was an old stable at one time or something like that. Yeah, the way I take it is a lot of the stuff that was at the auction was back here through these trees, and that's why they made these paths through here so they could get it all out. Had it all lined up pretty nice and neat. Made it a lot easier for us to get it cleaned up. Check out these old buildings. I came over here the day of the auction and it stank like chemicals so bad I couldn't hardly handle it, so I walked away. But look at that old brick. Yeah, it still reeks. Oh man, it almost makes you nauseous. Hold my breath and come over here. Yeah, you cannot go in this building. I don't know if there's anything in there or not, but I'm not going to find out because I don't feel like dying today. I really like this door. It's really cool with all that brick tin on it. It's just a neat old building here. This old grain building. Seen better days. I don't think there's anything in there. Nope. These are just scrap buildings like this. There was one of these out back that they went ahead and sold at the auction. We bought it. I watered it up and scrapped it out. What are these? Oh, they filled old gallon paint cans with concrete. Use them for anchors or something. Huh, that's kind of neat. Oh, there's a piece of metal that they missed. Looks like there's some more back here too. More scrap iron kind of scattered through here that they left in here. This was a scrap auction deluxe. Probably at least 3/4 of the stuff that was at this auction was just scrap. The bad part of that was that was the only auction going on, so every scrapper in this part of the state was here. But this place is only like 5 minutes away from our yard, so we weren't going to let them have nothing cheap anyway, so we bid everything up. We got a bunch of stuff, but there was 2 other main junkers that were here. Well, actually kind of 3. One guy wasn't buying big stuff though, he was just buying small stuff. But there was 2 other junkers buying big stuff, and they got some stuff, we got some stuff. We kind of split it up a little bit, but I don't know, it was fun. There were a few other junkers here as well, but they saw all the other junkers here and they just said forget it and they left. That's why normally we don't buy junk at auctions, is just because it gets to be too competitive and there's just not a lot of money to be made. But this was so close, I was able just to drive the loader out here and not a big deal. It's only going to take us a few days to get this cleaned up So with circumstances like that, we couldn't resist. Check out these buildings here. Big old grain buildings way up in the sky. I don't even know how many 100 feet tall that is. Thing is huge, that's for sure though. They didn't sell any of that at the sale. I'm sure they were worried about liability, somebody trying to cut it down and something falling on them or falling on somebody else or something like that. But boy, I would love to tear that down. I'd tear it down for free, but you know, they're probably going to pay somebody to come in here and take it down. That would definitely be a ton of fun to film that though. Can you imagine that video of knocking that tower down? The way I'd do it is I'd cut the guide wires on the other side. There's a set of 4 on this one, or 4 corners, and there's 2 on each corner. And so I'd cut the ones on the other side, and I'd just let it fall over this direction. Cut the legs over there on that side and just let it fall on over in the wind. And then this building here, that one that's way up high, the guy would probably have to just climb up there and wrap a chain around that and put some torque on it this direction, and then cut the legs on the other side and just knock it on over. It would come over. These buildings here would be super easy. You just rip into those and just knock them over. They're super rusty. They'd collapse down easy. There's probably quite a bit of weight there. Can you imagine climbing that ladder? Man. But yeah, these buildings are all rusted out. They're all still probably a quarter full of grain is the crazy part. At one time, this was one of the biggest farming operations in Reno County. I think they said this guy had like 22,000 acres. And that might just be a rumor, but that's what they were saying. Unfortunately, the way I take it is he didn't have any family. He passed away and he hadn't paid taxes in years. And so the state came in and just took it all. I just now realized there's actually 4 of these grain buildings. There's 3 still standing. Well, that one's kind of standing. There's 2 decent ones, 1 rusty one. And there's that one over there you can kind of see through there that fell over already. I was setting up my magnetic mount yesterday. There was a combine sitting right here that I bought, and we were cutting it up. So I put my GoPro up over this building over here, and I stepped in that black junk down there, and my foot sunk up past my ankle. Just nasty, nasty rotted grain, like tar. Nasty stuff. Man, that would be so much fun to tear this down. I don't know, maybe they'll call us in the future. We're just right down the street. We could run the equipment out here, no problem. I can see it now. That big old tower just falling and going boom, boom. Right about there in that open area. It's not tall enough to reach the building, so that wouldn't be a danger. I bought all these trailers over here. I kind of like this one here. It's got a workbench inside it. And that trailer there is a triple axle trailer, 18 foot long, 7.5 foot wide. Pretty nice little trailer. I gave 300 and some bucks for it. And then that old utility, or not utility, that there was a utility box sitting over here that I bought, but I already sold it. But that little pickup bed trailer there's got a really cool Chevy tailgate on it, is why I bought it. So that's about all I have left in this area. And then that thing there is just scrap. We didn't buy any of the rest of this stuff sitting around out here. We're pretty well done shipping stuff at this point. Not much left of this old building here. See if there's anything in here. I kind of doubt it. They sold the contents of the building and they took a little bit of stuff out of here, but there wasn't much in here to start with. I bet you this is mice and rat heaven out here. About every car we hauled home was full of mice and rats. Look at this big old grain silo. The roof's gone off of it, but it's still in pretty good condition. There's another little grain building there. They were actually supposed to sell that at the auction, I guess, and they forgot about it. We probably would have bought it and tore it down. Lots of nice shops out here. Boy, I would love to have shops like these. There's this one here. There's one up front. And then there's that huge one there, and it's just open on one end. That's the one there they could drive their combines in and park them. Now this building here is probably the coolest building on the place. It's got a mix of old barnwood siding and then that tin that looks like brick on it as well. Pretty cool old building, and I guess they made flour in here or something like that. I don't know exactly what. We bought all these bolt bins. We got to get those out of here sometime. But yeah, this place is pretty cool. Now I haven't looked it over that much. They were just telling me about it. But I guess down here, there's a hatch right here you can open up, and this goes way, way down in the ground. There's like a whole nother room down there. Bunches of little rooms. They sold the contents of this room. I didn't know what was in there. I didn't even bid on it. Looks like it's empty now. But yeah, they I don't know if we can see down there or not. Can't really see in there very good. There was tons of stuff on these shelves, and they sold a lot of stuff. People were choicing items out. I tried not to buy too much small stuff, though. I'm just not into that as much as I used to be. But man, look at all this scrap iron in here. He's gonna have a heyday of loading scrap iron. Well, I don't know how secure these steps are. They don't look the greatest. They're not very big steps, but I think we're gonna try to work our way upstairs and see what's up there. There was some stuff up here they sold at the auction. They never went up here. They just said the contents of whatever's upstairs, and somebody bought it and came up here and got it all, I guess. There's some pretty sketchy spots. The step's completely gone right here, and even the steps that are here, like, look at that, pretty rotted. One of the sketchiest things I've done lately, that's for sure. Let's see if there's anything up here. Got to be super careful where I step, though, because I do not want to go to the bottom level. Huh, check out this little room. See here, what's over here? Can you imagine this place back when it was in operation? They probably dumped grain through that window or something. I don't know exactly what they did in here. Huh. Well, there's more stairs if I don't fall through the floor. Let's see here. Oh man. All sorts of stuff up here. I'll tell you what, these steps are sketchy to look. All this wood's so rotted. This honestly is making me pretty nervous right now. There we go, I made it. Oh wow, look at all this stuff. Look at that old gear, that's so cool. Neat old gears and pulleys and chutes. Some old machine here of some sort. And there's the pit of despair. Can't tell if there's anything down there or not. Nope, it just looks like a grain storage of some sort. This building would be so cool to see this in operation back in the day. We're up pretty high right now. Now here's the fun part, is getting back down, because you have to step all the way across and put all your weight on that first step right there. And that's pretty rotted, but here goes nothing, I guess. See if we can make it without falling and breaking something. I'm trying to find things to hold on to. Whew. You could feel that thing flexing underneath my feet. You know, I'm up here risking life and limb to make this video for you guys. If I can squeeze through here, the least you could do, if you haven't already, is like this video and subscribe to my channel. Because yeah, I am exploring and having fun for myself, but I'm also bringing this along for you guys, and so I'm down to one hand instead of two. But for real, I really appreciate everybody that watches my videos, that comments, that likes, that subscribes, all that good stuff. Oh man, I thought coming up was bad, but going down is much worse. Ultra sketchy. I mean, look at this here. That's going up there, and it goes down, and that's what's supporting all the weight of this. It's just these two little 2x4s with 2 nails in each of them. Here goes nothing. Well, it's holding my weight, so I guess we're going to survive. There's a bunch of stuff up here in these lofts, but they sold all this to other people. I just didn't feel like climbing up here and getting stuff down. There wasn't anything super cool anyway. Well, I think we survived. Oh, there we go. Back on terra firma. Here's another pit of despair. Oh, that one even has a ladder. I don't think I'm going down there, though. Oh, wow, there's lights down there and everything. That's a whole nother room. Crazy, but no, I don't think we're going down there. I think it's just an empty room. I think probably dump grain down there or something. Or that's probably access point to work on the equipment. I don't know. But regardless of how you look at it, that's a big fat nope right there. Maybe if I had somebody out here with me, I would go down there, but by myself, if I was to fall and break something, I was down there by myself, and it could be a very bad situation. So not today. Fascinating old building. Lots of fascinating history here. What's crazy is each of these buildings had its own electrical running to it, and I'll show you guys in a minute, but the electrical system up by the house is just absolutely crazy. Yeah, there's another little building there of some sort, and then the house. But I've got to help Skylar out real quick, so we'll go up there and film that stuff here in just a minute. Okay, got Skylar taken care of. He's gone. Here's the old house. Unfortunately, they have it all roped off. They had it like this so nobody would go near the house or in the house during the auction, and I'm going to try to respect that. It looks like the roof's falling in on this place anyway, so it's probably not safe. But man, this is an old house. It's a big house too. When this house was built, they had some money, that's for sure. There was another little building right here, and it was the very last thing they sold at the sale, and they said contents of that building, and it was clear full of 5-gallon cans I could make my junk-o'-lanterns out of. And so I bid it up to $150, and he bought it. I don't know what was in here, but he left all these barrels behind and kind of bulldozed the building off to the side and got whatever was in here out of here, but he took all the 5-gallon cans as well. This little shed building thingamajigger is on the back side of the house. Not entirely sure what they use this for. It looks like they use this to store bags of feed or something. I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't sell this in the auction. There's a double sink, cast iron sink back here as well. There's one that got the sink and the washboard area on the side. That's a high dollar piece. That probably would have brought $40-50 at the sale. I don't know why they didn't drag those out, but yeah, it doesn't look like anything good in there. It's probably a rat nest heaven. And this building here is a super old building as well. It almost looks like it could have been a house at one time, but it's got a garage door on this side. I don't know if there's anything in there or not. If there is anything, it's probably not much good. And if there was anything good in there, they probably already took it out and put it out in the auction. Of course, I say that, and there's 2 good pieces laying right beside it that they didn't put in the auction. And actually, I was out back with my dad earlier, and there's actually a great big plow back in the trees that they didn't drag out. Probably would have brought $300-400 at the sale for scrap. Big old bush. I can just imagine. They probably came out and planted that bush 80 years ago, 50 years ago, something like that. They're probably all proud of it. But man, check this house out. This thing is huge. The house that I had was nowhere near this big. That old one that I tore down. This thing is massive. I bet this was a nice house back in the day. Once upon a time. There's no saving it now though. She's ready to be torn down. It's got a pretty long driveway on it. It's kind of secluded, like I said, but yet it's real close to town. It's not really a dead-end road, but it's not a high-traffic road either, and it's right close to town. I mean, it'd be so nice to live out here. This would be an ideal location for a house. Come in here and bulldoze this thing here, put up a new house in this area somewhere. This building over here is actually not a bad building at all, but check out this electrical setup right here. Going up, and they've got wires running everywhere out here. All these panels. I can only imagine what his electric bill was. That's the crazy part, is I think there's only 1 meter on all of this. It's humming, so it's making noises, so it's still active. But man, look at that. Yeah, if I owned this property out here, I'd come in here, tear the house down, tear that building down, take out a whole bunch of these trees in this area, make a nice area, put a house in here, put a nice driveway and a nice shop or something like that beside it. Not really a shop, but maybe a garage. It's already got multiple nice shops out here. There's this one here, the big one out back, and then the other one. This building here, this is kind of like a workshop or something, I don't know. It's kind of neat. You can tell they've added on to it through the years. It's got more of that real neat siding on it. And then they added onto it over here. Looks like they added onto it maybe twice. I don't know, I can't quite tell. We'll go inside it and check it out. There was some really cool stuff in here that they sold. But yeah, they got all these counters in here and all sorts of shelves. And then there's another big building over here. This one here, the doors are kind of wonky on it. Needs a lot of work, but still, it's a really nice building. I would love to have a building about that size out at my place. That's about the perfect size for what I need. The workshop behind me is a little bit too small, and then the big building out back is a little bit too big. But that would be about perfect. This building here, I'm assuming he made this so he could pull his combines in here to work on them. because it's not very big. You couldn't really do much with it. You couldn't get more than about one, maybe two combines in here at a time. But yet it's got the big enough door to where you can pull the combine in here. Probably with the header on it. So I'm guessing that's what this was for. Oh, I almost forgot about this. I got to drag that out back and throw it in the iron box here in a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Someday I'll have a building like this. This is really overkill for me, but it would be nice to have a building I could pull the loader in and park it out of the weather. I like going to places like this and dreaming, you know? There's no way I could afford a building like that. To build that type of building these days, man, you're looking at a lot of money. And to build this great big building back here, you know, I would be happy with a big building like that. But to build something like that, I don't even want to know what the bill would be. To build something that big these days, like that there, where it's not even insulated or nothing, probably cost you $500,000. You can see the South Hutchinson water tower right over there. There's the truck stop out there, or one of the truck stops. And I think if we go around right here, yeah, right there, you can see the Love's truck stop sign. That would be super handy, so every time you want to go get a drink or a snack or something, it was right down the street. There's a road that runs right here, all the way down in between here and the highway, and then it circles around the front of this property. And actually, you could almost put a crusher in here. I mean, it's big enough. You could fit the crusher in here, no problem. Just back it right in here. Then you could crush cars in here out of the weather, but boy, it would be loud. All this metal, it would echo like crazy. You'd have to put some sort of insulation up or something to absorb the sound. But even regardless of that, boy, you could put in processing stations in here, process cars easy. This would be really nice. You could park all your equipment in here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to stop here, and I'm going to come back tomorrow, and hopefully it's not blowing 30, 40 mile an hour wind. I'll get my drone out. I'll kind of fly it around. I really want to film that tower, that grain tower. That's pretty cool. I want to fly up there closer to it and check it out a little bit better. So I'll do that, see if I can find some other cool cinematic shots to get, and I'll put something together with that. I'll see you guys in the morning. Okay guys, I had big intentions of getting some really cool shots with a drone, going around with my camera. The problem is that it was bitter cold that day, and it zapped all of my batteries and all of my cameras quit working. This camera was still working, but my fingers were absolutely frozen, and this isn't the camera I wanted to use anyway, so I thought, well, I'm just not going to mess with it. Well, then we had an ultra mega cold freeze come in where it was like negative 30 degrees, and so it was impossible to go out there and film in that sort of weather. It wasn't impossible, it just wasn't realistic. So I didn't go back out there, and I had intentions of going out there again at another time, and I forgot my camera that day, and I went out there and got those shelves out of that building. And so I thought, oh, I'll run back out there later. Well, then I found out that they had closed the place down and nobody was allowed out there anymore. I called the bank. I tried to get permission to go in there, and they said, no, for liability reasons, we don't want you in there. I said, well, this is what I do. I do YouTube all the time. I'll be safe. I'll sign any waivers you want me to sign, whatever you want me to do. And the guy said, no, we just don't want anybody out there. So unfortunately, I was not able to complete this video exactly like I wanted to. But I've got some other things coming up. If it warms up a little bit, it's been about 3 weeks now actually since I recorded that last clip of the drone, and it's still super cold out. So hopefully if it warms up just a little bit, I've got some pretty big plans for this channel coming up. But obviously I have to put most of my effort into the main channel still, because this one here isn't quite where it would need to be for me to dedicate more time to it. All good things in time though. We'll keep chugging away. Stay tuned for the next adventure. I don't know what's coming up next for sure, but like I said, I have several ideas, so whichever of those happens, you guys will be seeing it. If you guys did enjoy this one, let me know what your favorite part of this video was. As always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Remember to get out there and find that adventure. We'll see you next time.